Friday afternoon. Hope you're doing
Yeah,
well.
good afternoon to you. I'm going to give a quick introduction to you and I'll let you take it away. A lifelong technology enthusiast, Aklish is passionate about developing technology innovations to transform the shopping experience. He possesses deep expertise in envisioning and launching new products for the e-commerce buyer's journey, supply chain, and logistics. Over the course of his 20-year career, he has helped some of the most recognizable brands in the world, including eBay, Walmart, The Gap, Nordstrom, Nike, Ralph Lauren, Adidas, Petco, Staples, Microsoft. Okay, yeah, with all of their e-commerce related solutions. Aklish is the founder of Phoenix Commerce, which we're going to learn a little bit more about. And he's really developed something quite unique that combines logistics and operations, specifically shipping, with conversion rate optimization. And this is something that I would bet the farm on is going to be successful. This is basically taking Amazon type technology and being able to give it up to the little guys, I would say. So take a close look here. And as you can kind of see from some of our talks, we've moved more from marketing into operations and logistics. And I think this is a good way to transition as we're combining both of them in this talk and this product. Aklish, I'll let you take it away from here.
Perfect. Thank you, Derek. And as you said, absolutely. I think let me also share my deck. I hope everybody will be able to see it. Let me know if you guys are able to see it. Are you able to see it?
Good. We're not full screen yet. If you want to go, yeah, looks good full screen.
All right, fantastic. So, but once again, thank you for the opportunity, and I'm happy to speak to and share a little bit of knowledge which I have around this area. And I believe there is a significant opportunity we have in front of everybody who is trying to stay afloat, stay competitive in the era where, frankly, the success is defined by how efficiently you are being able to deliver the e-commerce shipments to your customers, right? So with that, we are going to talk about how anybody and everybody out there actually can leverage the data and the technology which is accessible to them today and create an Amazon Prime-like delivery experience, right? So what I mean by that, essentially, so in the topic today, in this discussion, we are going to cover a few things. One is obviously very quick run through the agenda. When we say Amazon pre-purchase delivery experience, what specifically do we mean by that, right? And we'll cover that. Then we'll just quickly touch upon what are the most of the e-commerce stores doing today, and what are the key industry trends, and then we'll also touch upon what are the key components if you want to enable this kind of experience on your store. How would you go and do it? What are the key enablers? Some of the key benefits which we have seen across some of the customers who have taken advantage of our platform, and even in my personal experience when I ran shipping and returns for eBay marketplaces and otherwise. And we'll kind of just wrap up there. And if there are any questions along the way, I'll be happy to take them as well. So with that, let me kind of just set the ground here, right? Because this is an area where a lot of times when you think about delivery experience, people are actually thinking that it is the actual delivery to the customer post-purchase. And that's why we differentiated it in the very clear bucket we tried to call it. It is actually pre-purchase, where how would you surface the value up to the shoppers, the buyers, when they are on your site with the intent of actually buying something. So, and you see two snapshots here, one on the left which says search results. So typically if you go to Amazon, and I'm talking about it because of course they have done such a beautiful job at it, and they are setting the bar today for e-commerce from really where they are competing, and they're winning, and everybody is trying to catch up, and they keep changing the rules. When up until a month back, everybody was thinking that 2 days good enough, and there are customers out there, they're saying, retailers, that we are doing 3 to 4 days promises is what we are making, and we are okay. But guess what? Think again. Amazon just changed the game again, and now it's Prime 1 day, right? So the bar is going to continue to go higher and higher. And then it's not, as I said, right, there is one aspect of actual delivery, and the other aspect of, are you able to surface these things to your shoppers on a real-time basis when they are on your site? So you see the example here, how Amazon calls the search result on the project page on the right-hand side. You see very clearly few things which you would want to pay attention to, right? And this is something which I tell to everybody who is in e-commerce business. Look at things which Amazon is putting out there. They have not just randomly put those things there, right? So the image is very clear, the description is very clear. Then you see the reviews and ratings, right? Because these are the things which matter. And Amazon, which has most data than anybody else from e-commerce perspective in US, they do everything based on data. And then you have clear pricing, and also if there is a discount, they call that out. But then look at what they have done with the delivery, right? How prominent it is, how it is displayed on each of the page right from the start, from the search result. So they know that it actually matters to people, whether they need the product tomorrow or not. It actually psychologically matters to people knowing that when will they get it. And by Prime, the moment you see that symbol Prime, you know it's actually, hey, it's actually free shipping for me. So they have tackled both of these things very early on in the shipping cycle, in the purchase journey, right? And then same message continues getting reinforced throughout the shopping funnel, which is on the product page you see right there. And then if you continue through the journey, you will see when you go to the checkout, and you see that basically different shipping options, right? So in this example, which you picked up, we had signed up for basically an Amazon Day, right? You guys would have seen about a month back, Amazon is saying that, hey, because of environment and whatnot, we want to have 1 day per week where you can choose to select that day, and we'll be delivering that day instead of any day of the week. So in this case, those options, again, it's where on the checkout is where they start to surface many other options. On the product or search pages, they are showing you the fastest the product can be delivered to you. So there it has been, there's tons of data science, there's tons of analytics which has gone behind it, tons of psychological research that what actually appeals to people. And I tell it to people all the time. When I ran basically something funny thing, small things which probably don't really, we would think anecdotally they don't make sense. But in fact, the font color and the size you see, right? The Friday, June 14th, which is in green versus what is there next in black. These things, they create a meaningful impact on what actually catches people's attention and how it drives conversion. And that's where you would see that even for Amazon, they keep doing a lot of testing. For some products, you'll see the time, some products you'll not see the time, and a bunch of things. And that's another beauty of technology, the day and age we are living in. Every single thing from e-commerce perspective, you can continue to test and see what converts the most, right? So this is the reason I wanted to share it, just so that everybody is on the same page, that when we are talking pre-purchase delivery experience, we are not really talking about the actual delivery. It is the fact that being able to communicate to the end customers when they are on your site very clearly, very concisely, when will they get the product and how much will it cost, right? So with that, I thought we'll also look at what is typically happening in the industry today, right? What are typical merchants, retailers doing? The first example you would see pretty prevalent out there is there are retailers out there, they take a safe range, right? And safe ranges, in this case, the retailer is saying, hey, you know what, I will get the product delivered by ground. It'll be there somewhere between, kind of, they put a date, right? Instead of the date range, they put that between June 16th to June 20th, which is essentially another way of saying 3 to 5 business days. Right, so being very conservative, and the reason I'll get into that later. Why are they conservative around it, right? Versus if they pull up the actual data, and I can challenge it to anybody here on the call, that if you go back to your own actual deliveries for last year, you will see that regardless of whether you are shipping from a single location or you're shipping from a multiple location, of course, if you're shipping from multiple locations, you'll see the percentage much higher. But you look at your 3-day deliveries, and I can guarantee that 50 to 60% of your packages, they are getting delivered within 3 business days, even if you are shipping from a single location. So that's the opportunity we are talking about here, right? Being able to clearly communicate to the end customers when they are in the shopping funnel that value. Similarly, we have some of the other example, right? Transit time, where some of the retailers, and these are, by the way, these are not small ones. Some of these retailers, we are giving the examples, they are multi-billion, they are doing multi-billion, which is billion with a B, dollar business online in US alone, right? And these guys are saying, hey, transit time. Now you go figure out as a shopper, what the hell does that mean? I mean, what is this transit time? 1 to 2 business days, right? So this is how they are communicating it to their customers, frankly, not helping at all. And the third case we see out there is customers, some retailers on the checkout, they will just throw out there that, hey, we provide 3 shipping methods. You go and completely in the dark, you may get it. I mean, unless, of course, you choose 2-day shipping or overnight shipping, which is $25 or $45, very prohibitive to spend, especially if you are buying a lesser value item. You figure out when you're going to get the product, right? And unfortunately, 90% of the people in US, they don't even know that USPS priority actually, it means that, yeah, within 3 business days, you should get the package if in general circumstances, right? So that's what is happening in industry. Then one thing, again, just recapping everything which you have seen, right? So what we are continuing to see from research standpoint, and I'll also share some anecdotal information from my days at eBay when I ran shipping and returns for eBay marketplaces, that this actually made a pretty significant impact. And Derek, while he talked about operations and logistics, this actually makes a big impact from marketing messaging perspective. If you go back to eBay messaging before 2014, eBay never talked about free shipping, eBay never talked about fast shipping. When we started kind of doing this as an analysis, understanding what really matters to our shoppers, we realized that this thing really moves the needle. And eBay now, if you go to any ad of eBay on TV or wherever, you'll see that talking about free shipping and fast shipping all over the place. So from marketing standpoint, it actually is a big deal. So here you will see that 64% of the customers or the shoppers, they are looking for shipping delivery information as early as the product page. In fact, Amazon, as you saw, they do it on the search result page itself, right? You don't even have to go to the product page. Then 45% people, they have abandoned the cart because they don't see the clear delivery options. Either it's too expensive to get the product, as we saw some of the examples on the earlier page, or it's either too expensive or it takes too late. In fact, most of the retailers I have been talking to, I have seen their numbers for cart abandonment, which they have tagged to that shipping related reasons, that is actually as high as 65%. That's what I have come across with some of the retailers, right? Then similarly on the checkout, that how it influences the final placed order, right? And that's where you see almost 3/4%, 76% people, that impacts their buying decision. So as I said earlier, I mean, we used to do at eBay, we used to do every 3 months, every quarter, we would do buyer surveys, 5,000 to 10,000 buyers. And we will see that consistently what matters to people is a fast delivery and free delivery. Those 2 things, they are among the top 5 most critical things to drive the conversion. And that repetition, that behavior, we have seen all across the industry and across categories and everywhere else. So moving along, what I also want to quickly touch upon is, so of course, as I mentioned earlier in the beginning, right, that the winners versus the survivors versus the losers will be determined with the logistics. And they have already kind of, to a great extent, you have all seen what Amazon has been doing, right? Amazon has gone from 2-day to 1-day. And for those of you, if you think that, you know what, I'm doing 5 days and I'm in my niche right now, I would say, I would actually, in a very humble way, go and challenge and say, go and see what is actually happening with your own data and try to figure out for future where industry is going, where the battle lines are drawn, and how can you stay competitive actually without actually spending a whole lot of money. Then, of course, right after Amazon said it, Walmart announced that, you know, we are going to do next day delivery ourselves. And then Blackstone, which is a big hedge fund in US, they announced, I don't know how many of you followed this, $19 billion pumping the money, where they are buying malls across US to basically to enable all retailers and brands of all sizes to have the inventory located closer to their customers throughout the way, basically cut down the time it takes, cut down the money it takes to deliver the product from last mile standpoint, right? So this is where the battle is happening. This is what is going to decide who wins and who loses. Some of the other news is where you would have seen now FedEx, I think a few days back, they announced that now they will be delivering the packages 7 days a week, right? Of course, this is something which Amazon has been doing for some time with USPS, right? Where USPS, they have this arrangement where Sunday deliveries has been happening for almost a couple of years, depending upon where you live. So, but now FedEx is waking up. They realize that stakes have gone up high. and they need to tackle this heads on, especially now Amazon becoming a big force, even from delivery standpoint, from logistics perspective within last mile. Same thing with UPS. You would have seen the news that now UPS and ShopRunner, which is another kind of that I would say delivery experience type of thing, that they are saying, hey, we'll offer free 2-day shipping. It's of course it's a membership driven program, but there is a lot of activity happening in this space. And finally, some of you might have seen that FedEx just pulled out of Amazon contract, right? They are saying, you know what, when Amazon is going so aggressively at it, we don't want to kind of continue working with Amazon as a customer in some segments. So basically, if you look at it, if you take a step back and you see what's happening here, right? So the things, they fall in two buckets essentially, right? One is you're talking about the inventory. It comes down to how intelligently you're placing your inventory. Is it closer to the buyers, to the potential customer? How far does your inventory has to travel from last mile standpoint? And the second big component here is the carriers, right? Which is who is your carrier, and what are they doing to actually stay in the game? And in fact, I am going to make a prediction here that in next 10 years, the cost of last mile delivery, which has continued going up over last 10 years significantly, like I would say 8 to 10% year over year, that's a normal growth. I would say in 10 years, it is actually going to come down with a lot more competition, and almost 50% of the deliveries from last mile standpoint will be fully automated, in the sense that you will not necessarily have a human being delivering packages to your home. You would actually have an automated delivery vehicle coming and delivering your packages, whether it is drone or it is basically locker on the wheels or something of that sort, right? Majority of this footprint is going to change significantly. There is continuous innovation happening in this space, and it's just, unless you are one of these big companies which are actually continuing to raise the bar day-to-day basis, it's hard to stay abreast. But so those are kind of two fundamental things, right? Moving on to the next thing. So the two fundamental things which ultimately decides how do you convey the delivery dates, as I talked about, pre-purchase delivery experience and the shipping options to your customers, individual customers. It boils down to, right, when two of the key things are, where is your inventory located? From carrier standpoint, what are their SLAs? How quickly can they deliver, right? Are they delivering 7 days a week, 5 days a week, and whatnot? Then there are a few other key components, even from as a merchant retailer standpoint. What are your operations? How long do you take to pick, pack, and ship? And again, this is an area which has gone through fundamental technological land shift in the last 5 years. And again, as I said, right, I mean, this is something where we will see almost fully automated operations in next 10 years, right? Where most of the pick, pack, and shipping will be done by robots. Customer information, that's another key component. Where is your customer? Where is your buyer coming in from, right? What are the demand? Do you have a loyal customer? Do you have a new customer, first-time buyer? Those are the things which play a big role into it, right? Because to determine what kind of shipping options you want to display, you want to use shipping as a competitive advantage and give something more personalized to them. And then ultimately, in order to really make sense of anything and on real-time basis to do this, what you would need is you would need a big technology engine, a platform which can use machine learning and artificial intelligence, churn through all this data, take a look at historically what my carriers have done, what my DCs have done from operations standpoint, how I've been able to fulfill these items from inventory perspective, where that is located. You need to look at weights and DIMS and a bunch of other things, and then churn out the information dynamically on real-time basis. And good news is the technology is there today. Good news is there is a lot of data. So it is relatively 5 years back, something like this would have been very hard to do. Today, it is relatively easy to kind of, if you have the right resources, right time basically technology platform at your disposal, you can bring and pull in all these things and do it intelligently. When you do it intelligently, obviously, what you see is your end customers, you'll be able to provide a very personalized, unique experience, right? So depending upon, even if you have 1 versus 10 different fulfillment locations, or even thousands for that matter, you'll be able to convey to the customers and personalize that, hey, you are going to get it by tomorrow, and it's only going to cost $2, or even if it's free shipping, versus somebody else, it might be something completely different, right? Depending upon, as I said earlier, right, the parameters, which is where the inventory is, what are your operations parameters, what carrier, and so on and so forth. So the goal is to just completely personalize. As I said earlier, Amazon has been leading the chart. Walmart with pumping in billions of dollars in the technology platform. Now they are catching up with it, but you don't have to spend billions of dollars. When there is the technology available, you have the ability to go and do it for your customers today. Moving on along, so what's the big deal, right? When if we say that, yeah, there are several ways, as I talked about this, that there is a proper way, which is you take all this data and you do all these things intelligently. But then there is an easier way also to do these things, right? You simply say, which is what I have seen some of the retailers, merchants doing it, right? Which is, hey, I ship generally in 24 hours or 48 hours. So let's take that, which is sort of my lead time, and then I know my carrier SLA is like 3 to 5 business days. So why don't I just do a simple math, add these two things, and then without worrying about the inventory situation where my inventory is located, or do I even have it in stock or not, and things of that nature, I would be surfacing the dates. So that all sounds good. You could absolutely do it. And that's, as I said, right, some of the people are doing it, but this is where the challenge comes in, right? And the challenge comes in that, and again, things are going wrong all the time, right? I mean, we have seen that inventory situation that can change dynamically based on if you have a hot selling item in your hand, which is just flying off, you may or may not be able to ship the item based on what you are doing from a simple math standpoint. So that changes dynamically. Then your operational performance, that can change based on the time of the day, based on the seasonality, based on, as I said earlier, if you have some hot products, you're selling through it very quickly, or when the times are slow. So you need the ability to go up and down dynamically. And ideally, if you actually have a decent machine learning platform, artificial intelligence platform running underneath it, it can detect based on the traffic on your site, based on your historic, your order volume, and so on and so forth, and start to manage these things for you dynamically. And last, but probably the most critical component, is the carrier on-time performance. That varies widely. So I'll take UPS or FedEx, for example, right? So they report that their SLAs are 98% on-time delivery. The only problem is when they say on-time delivery, there are two components to it. One is anything which delivers before that date, their SLA, that is considered on-time. Second is any type of weather delays, any kind of breakdowns through their network, they remove those from matrix. So typically, when I ran at eBay, basically the shipping team for about 3 years, we noticed that for any national carrier, when USPS was unfortunately the worst offender here, I had seen their SLA performance going down as bad as like maybe 78, 79%, and as high as up to maybe 93, 94%, right, from accuracy standpoint. So actual performance versus what they say. And same thing for FedEx and UPS, right? So they are not too wildly far apart. So the thing is, you need the capability to be able to adjust based on the carrier's actual performance, historical performance, weather delays, whatnot, whatever is happening in the delivery fulfillment ecosystem. The unfortunate part is the problem may not be yours. It's actually a carrier's fault where they have got a package stuck somewhere in their network, and then you have missed the promise. But from end customer perspective, who has purchased the product on your side, they are going to hold you accountable. In fact, there is very established metric that it's almost the churn rate for the customer when you miss your delivery promise is pretty high. One of the other thing I'm going to talk about here, right, is on the flip side of it, what we have also seen, and this is again goes back to my eBay days, right, some anecdotal information. What we saw always kind of over a period of 3 years, every quarter, we would see that when we made shorter promises on our site, which were accurate, so for example, 3-day promises, which were accurate, 95% plus higher accuracy, our customer satisfaction score, what we called as touchpoint NPS, used to be like 85, 86%, versus when we made the predictions when it's actually going to take 7 days or more. Then our customer satisfaction was much lower. So not only does it actually impact your conversion, it also impacts your customer satisfaction. So it's important to make these promises, which are very aggressive. It drives your conversion. But if you don't do them right, it is the worst thing you can be doing. And when things go wrong, your actually customers are expecting that as a retailer, you are going to be doing something, some appeasement, for your buyers in some sort of way, right? So those are kind of some of the other things. Moving on along, so what we can do actually, right? If you have the ability, given that you already have tons of data in e-commerce, that's the beauty of it. We all of us, anybody who is in e-commerce, they are data rich. You can take all this data, historical, married up with the historical performance, and start displaying the optimized delivery options to your customers throughout the pre-purchase funnel, right? Based on their location, based on where inventory is, based on the dim weight and whatnot, right? And most importantly, also real-time rate shopping. As most of you would know that FedEx surcharges or UPS surcharges, they can sometimes change even on daily basis. So how do you stay on top of it? How do you, most of you don't want to make money out of shipping, but at the same time, you don't really want it to negatively impact your profitability. So how do you stay on top of your game, right? So what can you do to take advantage of it throughout the funnel? Similarly, we already talked about accurate delivery estimates with the cutoff time, driving the urgency that you have 3 hours, 5 minutes to get it placed order and get it by tomorrow, and those type of things. Moving on, that what are the affordable, as again, going back some of the things which I mentioned, right? Just the simple function of being intelligently being able to determine that, yeah, I have inventory available in my California location and 30% of my customers are actually coming from California, then I can offer dynamically free 2-day shipping or maybe $3 2-day shipping, which is what anyway I'm going to do under the cover. I'm going to either ship with UPS ground or FedEx or USPS, whatever the case may be. But it creates a great experience for end customers, drives the basically satisfaction higher, and improves the conversion quite a bit. Then personalized marketing and promotion, right? Which is, guess what? Based on localized, you already have the IP addresses of the customers when they come to your site, whether through mobile or desktop. You can start promoting these things. That right? Hey, California shoppers, and it only shows up for California shoppers, for example, right? Free 2-day delivery, things of that nature. And then post-purchase fulfillment standpoint, right? What we can do is, if you are doing it properly, that take proactive actions when you know that, hey, I made this promise to my customers, knowing that I'm going to be shipping out within the next 4 or 8 or 24 hours, but I have been delayed. Now take proactive actions, maybe upgrade shipping, maybe send out proactively to some of those buyers saying, hey, something got messed up. Here is $5 coupon for future purchase. Take those opportunities, convert those experiences into a future loyal buyer, right? And then ultimately giving you complete control of improved delivery and fulfillment performance, right? From end to end, free purchase from the time people landed on a site to the point ultimately they got the package. So you have the opportunity to have same experience or even better yet than what people at like Amazon or eBay or Walmart have done, right? So those are some of the things I now quickly want to talk about. Why should you bother? As I've been saying all throughout that.
Akhilesh, really quick here. We're running low on time. I just want to let you know.
Okay, thanks, Eric. We are almost at the end of it, by the way. So few things here. The benefits which we have seen for some of the customers on our platform. 14% increase in end-to-end conversion. That's the average increase throughout the funnel. 21% increase in shipping revenue. So essentially, where now you have the opportunity to offer affordable 2-day shipping, leveraging a dynamic platform which can actually crunch these options, and you can take a little bit more money, and customers are willing to pay for the value they are getting, right? Then 38% reduction in cart abandonment, where throughout the funnel, what we have seen is people who are on our platform. We have seen that by enabling these capabilities, exposing this information throughout the funnel, these are kind of results. And finally, basically, significant reduction in pre-purchase inquiries, right? Where when will I get the package if I place the order today? Those type of things have all but disappeared. Very quickly moving along is these are some of our customers currently. Moving on to what is Phoenix Commerce. So this is exactly what we do, right? So we are passionate about driving this experience for our customers. We are passionate about exposing the technology platform and the data analytics and machine learning platform, which up until recently was only accessible to Walmart and Amazon and eBay of the world, to anybody. These are some of the customers we are working with right now. Men's Warehouse, and we are currently onboarding Levi's and some of the other ones, right? And we are some of the platforms we talk about. We actually have a Shopify private app. We have several Shopify and Shopify Plus customers who are actually taking advantage of our platform to enable this experience. And I would say absolutely. I mean, we are pretty platform agnostic, but if I were to choose one platform where we have really done a lot of work in integrating the platform and making the onboarding process very simpler, it's right there. Shopify is definitely is the leader there in that space. Of course, we are equally well versed with all other platforms as well. Here is some quick information. Should any of you have any questions, it doesn't matter. You don't have to use Phoenix, but any questions around delivery, any questions about e-commerce, logistics, fulfillment, feel free to bring me. This is something which I enjoy digging into. I am always learning. I always want to hear about more of these things. So feel free to reach out. And last but not the least, anybody who wants to use the Phoenix platform and interested, if you mention this webinar, we are offering 10% off your monthly subscription fee for first 12 months. So with that, Derek, I'm going to hand it over to you.
I love it, and thank you so much. You know, I think the key point is increases conversion rate, decreases customer service inquiries because we're delivering on our promise, or if we aren't, we're able to proactively mitigate inquiries. That means it's increasing our margin. It's something that provides all of the good things that we want in our company. Decreases churn, increases repeat purchase rate, increases customer satisfaction. It's getting the customer the right shipping option for them. Like, it's giving them more options and the right options based on that. So I love it. Thank you so much, Aklish. We're moving right into the next session with Kurt Elster. We will talk to you soon. Thanks again.
All right. Thanks, Derek.